This is Andrew Smallman for the law offices of Gilbert and Smallman. We're here to talk about a case that currently is going on in Broward Circuit Court, where we're proud to represent an individual by the name of Jimmy Hewitt. Recently, Mr. Hewitt gave some statements to a newspaper reporter who was doing a story on synthetic marijuana, also called Spice, or in some places K2. This synthetic marijuana is sold in 7-Elevens, Quick Stops, all convenience store type places. It looks like real marijuana. It's supposed to have some sort of effect, although I can't imagine it would have the exact same effect as the illegal drug. In recent times, it's been accused in having, I don't know, in certain crimes where people mentally are not stable, and they've blamed it on this synthetic marijuana. It's getting a lot of recent publicity. The state of Florida has deemed it illegal, and we're going to get to why that's somewhat troubling. In addition to the state of Florida finding it illegal, each individual city, specifically in Broward County, each specific city is having their commissioners review this synthetic marijuana to see if they want to put it on their list of banned substances for their county ordinances or their city ordinances. That being said, it's very difficult to test for. Part of the research that the reporter, her name is Susanna Bryan, she has published one article already and is figuring to do a follow-up article. She spoke with drug laboratories, and they are telling us that it has to be a very sophisticated drug laboratory to test for the specific illegal substances within this synthetic marijuana. The problem is there are hundreds and hundreds of compounds that, and they're all different for each company who makes this synthetic marijuana. These sophisticated labs can only test for 17 of these different compounds, even though at least 100 exist. Therefore, Mr. Hewitt, back to the original story, is accused of violating his probation by smoking this synthetic marijuana. The problem that our firm has with that, and most defense attorneys would likely have a similar problem with it, is that in order to violate probation, it has to be what's called a willful and substantial violation. Now, testing positive for illegal narcotics is certainly a substantial violation. However, it's our position in this case that there's no way that the violation could be willful. Willful means he meant to violate probation, or he meant to do something that he knew would violate his probation. Buying something from a 7-Eleven, that is it's not behind a pharmacy, you don't need a prescription for it, but to walk into a 7-Eleven and buy an item and ingest the item that doesn't require any ID other than an over 18 tobacco, it's akin to a tobacco product. To go into 7-Eleven and use that to smoke it, and then have a probation officer tell you, hey, you violated that probation, is somewhat counterintuitive. You wouldn't think that buying something at a 7-Eleven could violate your probation unless you're told that you can't drink to excess and you bought 50 beers or something like that. That would be open and obvious. So Mr. Hewitt and I, as his representative, we have a fight on our hands. We don't know how the state of Florida is going to react to his warrant or to any of the media attention that it's getting. But Mr. Hewitt is adamant that he's done nothing wrong. We have his defense in place for that. In the upcoming weeks, we are going to be requesting from the state of Florida that they get us the compounds that Mr. Hewitt allegedly tested positive for, to see if those are the same compounds that these labs can even test for. As I said before, it takes a very sophisticated lab to even find the compounds that are on the list of illegal substances, and there's no way that Mr. Hewitt could have known that an item he bought in 7-Eleven may have had a substance in it. And more troubling is if what Mr. Hewitt bought didn't have that compound in it, and he just told his probation officer, hey, I smoked this synthetic marijuana, and at that point he tests positive from a lab, but we don't know exactly what compound he tested positive for. We're in the very preliminary stages of this. But if you go to our website at hgilbertlaw.com, you can get updates on this particular case. You can also go to sunsentinel.com to look up for the synthetic drugs article in the local section. Today is July 16th, 2012. It's on the front page of the local section today. As of yesterday, or as of the 14th, it's been appearing on sunsentinel.com. But you can go to any one of those three places, sunsentinel.com, or a hard copy of the newspaper, which we know not too many people buy anymore, but if you're in your local stores, probably in the same 7-Eleven that you could buy this synthetic marijuana as of a few weeks ago, you can probably pick up a paper there, and of course our website as well. This is Andrew Smallman for Gilbert and Smallman.